Hello guys, welcome to my new HTML course, and in this course you are going to be learning HTML, and the interesting part of it is that we are going to be using a mobile phone for this lesson. So if you don't have a laptop or a desktop and you have a mobile phone, then you are good to go with this tutorial. So let's get into the course. Now, I really want to make this clear that you can actually write HTML using a mobile phone, and that's why I made this a mobile course, which means everything we are going to be doing in this course, we are going to be doing them with our mobile phone and not our computer system. But that doesn't mean that you can't make use of your computer system. If you don't have a mobile phone which you can use, or you are not interested in making use of the mobile phone, you can also use your laptop to follow up with the series, because every content here is same thing for your laptop. So whatever we are doing here is same thing when using your laptop or your desktop computer. The only difference is the software we are going to be making use of. But if you are making use of a laptop, I will also tell you the particular software to use in writing your program, and it's going to work for you. So let's dive into the course. Now, in this course, I expect you to have known how to make use of the internet, how to browse through different websites on the net. And I'm sure you seen this video, you already know how to browse through the net. So I guess we are all good to go. So let's start up with the course. So what is HTML? HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language, and is the building block and the foundation of every web page you see on the net. What this simply means is that every website you see on the net started with HTML. So there's no way you can start a website without making use of HTML, or there's no way you can create a website without making use of HTML, because HTML helps you to create content for that website. For example, if I'm creating a website, there is no way I can add image, tables, text, um, pictures, so on and so forth, without making use of HTML. Even if I want to create a list, I'll make use of HTML. If I want to create a table, if I want to create a section, I'll have to make use of HTML. So HTML is actually the foundation of your website. Without HTML, there is no creating your website won't be possible, because you have to add content to your website. The content makes it a website. So if there is no content, which means there is no website. So it has to be you creating content online. So in order to create content online, you have to make use of HTML. So HTML is very important when it comes to web design or web development. Now, HTML is used with other languages like CSS to actually make it look beautiful. If I create a website using HTML, it's not going to be looking that beautiful, because you won't be seeing things like colors, background, image, and all that. So to actually add these properties that makes it look beautiful, you'll be needing CSS to do that. And in this course, I'm not going to cover CSS, or I might cover a little bit of CSS. But if I get more subscribers and more views for this video, I'm going to create a new series talking about CSS. As you can see on the screen, this is an example of an HTML or a web page created using HTML. On the left hand side here, you would see the HTML code, and on the right hand side, this is the result for that HTML code. So what it simply means is that you have to write your HTML code in a text editor and run the program on your browser, and you will see what you've written so far on your browser. So that's how it actually works. So now the tool we'll be needing for this course is very simple. So one of the tool is a web browser, and I'm sure you all know what a web browser means. Is a tool used for accessing websites. So I have some example here like Chrome, Firefox, and Safari. There are more of them, but these are the these are the mostly used browsers when it comes to designing websites or writing HTML code rather. Then the next one is the text editor. Now, text editor is what you use to write your HTML code before testing them on your browser. And there are various text editor you can make use of. We have Visual Studio Code, we have Sublime Text, we have Atom, and we have SPCK editor for mobile. Now, SPCK editor is what we'll be using to write our code since we are using a mobile device. But if you are using a desktop or a laptop computer, you'll be needing Visual Studio Code, Sublime Text, or Atom. So you can download any one of these to work with a text editor on your mobile, sorry, on your laptop or desktop. But if you are using a mobile phone like me myself, you will need to download SPCK editor. Tags. Now in HTML, tags are simply text in between angle brackets. So any tag you see in between a lesser than and a greater than symbol is known as a tag. And these tags are used to define content. They are used to add content to your website. They are used to bring in content to your website. For example, if I want to create a table inside my website, you'll be making use of tag. If I want to add image to my website, you'll be making use of tags. And mind you, these tags are also can also be referred to as elements. The two main tags are the open tag and the close tag. So the open tag looks like this, while the close tag looks like this. The difference between them is that the open tag has no slash, while the closing tag has a slash at the back. So that's just the difference. That's just the difference between the open tag and the close tag. But they are both inside the angle brackets, meaning they are both inside the lesser than and the greater than symbol. So having known that, let's talk about elements. Element simply means the open tag and the close tag being used together. For example, you can see what I did here in the example, making use of the open tag and the close tag together. Now you don't refer to them as tag anymore. Instead, you refer to them as elements. So when they are together, you call them element. But when it's single, you refer to it as a tag. So that's just the logic. Now there are two types of tag. Sorry, there are two types of elements rather. We have the non-empty element and the empty element. The non-empty element is the one you saw in the example I gave in the previous slide. Now, this non-empty element can accept content and they have closing tag. They all have closing tag. While the empty element don't accept content and only has an optional self-closing tag. They don't have closing tag, but they have self-closing tag. And then, as we go on, I will tell you what I mean by self-closing tag. What you see on the screen here is an example of an element. This is an example of an element. So as you can see, I have the open tag and I have the closing tag. So this is an element. Then your content is in between. Now this is simply the syntax for writing HTML. These are your write HTML code. So what this means is that if I want to create a content on my website, so it simply means I'm going to create my opening tag, add my content, and close the tag. So that's how you create content for your website. Let me come again. You open the tag, create your content, or write in your content, and you close the tag. So this is how you make use of the non-empty element. This is how you make use of the non-empty element. So this is an example. As you can see, in this now in this example, I have the body. This is the open tag body and this is the close tag body. So the open tag and the close tag body is wrapping every content. Then I have this open tag h1 and the close tag h1. So this is actually wrapping the text which says header for content. So what this simply means is that the header for content is inside the h1 tag. So this will be the h1 or the heading. Then I have the paragraph which is donated by P, and I also close the tag. So in this example, you can see that every tag I open, I'm always closing them. It's very important. When you open a tag, always make sure you are closing the tag. Then anything in between that tag is the content for that tag. Anything in between the tag is the content for that tag. As you can see, I have the body. I have the body here, and this is the closed body. Now the opening body tag and the closed body tag is wrapping the h1 and the paragraph. So this is how you mark up content using HTML. So when we start the practicals, you are going to understand everything that I'm showing you here. So this is another example of a tag, sorry, an element. This is an example of an element. And as you can see, this time around, we only have a single tag having a slash at the front of it, not at the back. Now, this was what I meant by self-closing tag. Whenever you see the slash at the front, it means it's self-closing. Now, this is called an empty element. This is called an empty element. Remember, the one I showed you here is called what? Non-empty element. Why this is the empty element? It has it sorry about that. It has a slash at the front of it, and the slash is optional. You can leave it there, or you can add it, or you can remove it. It will still work fine for you. So this is an example of a self-closing tag or an empty tag. So whenever you want to create an empty element, you will need to add it as a tag. Then you add, when you want to close it, you put a slash at the front of it. That's how you close empty element. But if it's a non-empty element, you have to type in the closing tag after writing the content. So that will be all for this video. In our next video, I'll be showing you guys how to write HTML using SPCK editor. So that will be all for this. See you guys in our next class.